Alright guys, this is a continuation of the question we were busy with. If you see here, the last question, 3.4 that they're asking you is between which two consecutive terms will the first difference be 453? Okay, so between which two consecutive terms? Remember, consecutive means one after the other. So between which two? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it between 3 and 4 that the first difference will be 453? So we're trying to find out between which two numbers gives us 453 when we minus them. Okay, so you will get these questions almost every single time you get quadratic patterns. So make sure you know how to do this. Whenever they want to know about those consecutive terms, you're going to look at the first difference and you are going to come up with a formula for it. So you agree with me that this line over here, this is a quadratic pattern because we made the spider. So this one over here, this line, minus 51, minus 45, minus 39, minus 33. Do you agree with me that this is a linear pattern? Because between each one of them is plus 6, plus 6. So this line over here is its own linear pattern. And what you're going to do whenever you see this kind of question is you're going to come up with a formula for that linear pattern. Okay. Now remember, linear pattern, I've given you a nice new easy formula to use. This TNA blah 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 blah. So you're going to say Tn equals A plus N minus 1D. The first term of this pattern is minus 51 plus N minus 1. Your difference is plus 6. You're plussing 6 every single time to get there. So if I multiply this out, I'm going to get plus 6N minus 6. If I then group everything together, it's 6N minus 51 minus 6 is minus 57. Okay, so this is a formula for this line. Okay, and now if you think about it, they're asking you which term here is 453, because they want to know when is this difference 453. So if I'm asking you which term, what are you going to do? You're going to make your formula equal to that number. So now you're going to say 6N minus 57 is equal to 453. Okay, then you're going to work it out. So 6N is equal to 453 plus 57, which is going to be 510. And then you're going to divide it by 6. So that gives us 85. Okay, now that means that it's the 85th number here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be number 85. But they don't want to know 85. They want to know between which two numbers is it. So if you think about it, if this is a quadratic pattern, let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 blah. Then this is my second row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, blah, blah. Do you see that if this is 2, this is the second one, it's between 2 and 3. If this is 3, it's between 3 and 4. This is 4, it's between 4 and 5. So what do you think 85 is going to be between? It'll be between the 85th and 86th term. And that is your answer. They want to know between which two terms up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which two of those gives me, what was it, 453. It's between 85 and 86. Okay, so every time you get this consecutive number question, you're going to come up with a linear formula for your first difference. Then you're going to make it equal to the number that they give you, and then you'll say it's between that number and the number after that. Okay, so that is question 3 and 3.4. You can copy that down if you like, and then I'll go on to the next one. All right. Okay, last question. This is example 4. All right, now this is probably the most difficult one that you will get. It says the quadratic pattern for P, 11, Q, and 22 has a constant second difference of 1. Now 4.1 says show that P is 7 and Q is 16. Okay, so they want you to calculate this number, this letter over here, and this letter over here, because you don't know what they are. But they tell you that the second difference is 1. So, as almost in every quadratic question, you're going to make the Spyder first. So, it's 4P, 11Q, and 22. Those are your, that's your first line, okay? Now, let's go and come up with our first difference. This one is going to be P minus 4. Remember, it's always T2 minus T1. So what's this one going to be? 11 minus P. This one is going to be Q minus 11. And this one's going to be 22 minus Q. So this is going to be your first difference. Now we still need to come up with our second one. So that means we're going to have another little element to this one, another row. So it's going to be 11 minus P minus P minus 4. Okay, so 11 minus P. Now I just want you to see what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it into a bracket. So it's going to be minus bracket P minus 4. So this will be, once you remove the bracket, you must times it in. And remember, put it into a bracket because your signs will change. So this will be 11 minus P. It'll become minus P. And minus and a minus will make a plus 4. Okay, so what's going to happen here is you'll have 11 plus 4, which is 15. And then minus P is minus 2P. Okay, so I hope you see what happens there. We'll have the same thing here. 11 minus P minus, let's put this in a bracket, Q minus 11, which will become 11 minus P minus Q, because that'll times in and become a minus, and then a minus will make a plus 11. So 11 plus 11 will make 22, then you have minus P minus Q. You cannot add those together because they are unlike terms. Let's do the last one. This one is 22 minus Q. Now we must minus this, which I will put into a bracket as well. So it's 22 minus Q. This will become minus Q, and that will become plus 11. Okay, so then this is going to be 22 plus 11 will be 33, and then your minus Q is minus 2Q. Okay, so that was a lot of calculation, so let's just make sure we did everything right. We're saying this is P minus 4, correct. 11 minus P, correct. Q minus 11, correct. 22 minus Q, correct. Now we do the next line. It will be 11 minus P minus bracket P minus 4. If I times that and it becomes negative, that becomes positive. So that becomes 15 minus 2P. This one, do you see why it's important to check? Look what I did. Which one was supposed to minus which? In this one, I said this one minus this one. But by accident over here, I said this one minus this one. Okay, so let's cross that out. I must use this one first. So Q minus 11 minus bracket 11 minus P. So this will become Q minus 11 when I times that in, and plus P. Do you see how that made a difference? Okay, so this will be Q minus 11 is minus 22 plus P. Okay, yay, I'm so glad I checked. Now let's double check this one. 22 minus Q, that's correct. Minus, okay, so this one will now change. No, this one's fine. Minus Q minus 11. So it's 22 minus Q. I times that in, it becomes minus Q. I times that in, it becomes plus 11. And I'm left with 33 minus 2Q. All right. So now your next step, you've got your second difference. This is your second difference. That's there, and there. Okay, so what do we need to do now? We are trying to show what P and Q is. Now, what information did they give you? They told you that the second difference is 1. In other words, all three of these are equal to 1. So I can hereby use my simultaneous equations. In other words, 15 minus 2P is equal to 1. This one is also equal to 1. Q minus 22 plus P is equal to 1. And this one is also equal to 1. 33 minus 2Q is equal to 1. Now, with simultaneous equations, you guys only actually need, although you don't even need to do a simultaneous because you can just work this out. Okay, do you agree with me that I can come up with a value for P here? So P, so it'll become minus 2P is equal to 1 minus 15. And then we're going to get minus 2P, 1 minus 15 will be negative 14. And if we divide both sides by minus 2 will be 7. Okay. All right. So now we've got a value for P. Did we prove it's 7? Yes, we did. Okay. Next one, we can go and we can work out this line over here, because that's just got a Q on its own. This one, that's why I thought maybe this will be a simultaneous equation because it's all 2 letters in one, but they've actually made it easy for us. We can just go and calculate the Q straight away and the P straight away. Okay, so this will be 33 minus 2Q is equal to 1. If I take the 33 over, I get minus 2Q is equal to 1 minus 33 is minus 32. And then I must just divide both sides. So Q is equal to 16. Have I proved that Q is 16? Yes, I have. Okay, I know it's quite a challenging one, but just focus. All you're going to do is make the spider. So you come up with your first difference with your letters and everything. Then you do your second round, exactly the same thing. You say the second one minus the first one, and just remember to use brackets because your signs could change. Okay, so now we've got our second difference. And then they gave us information. They said the second difference is 1. So I could go and equate all of those to 1 and then work it out. It sometimes works out where you need to do a simultaneous equation, but should that come up, I'll show you what to do. But otherwise, I hope that makes sense. Okay, the next one, let's get another page.